Hi, welcome back to A Fresh Cup of Joe. Today we got a pretty good episode going on today. We've got Torri from Sapphire Trans Am on. Say hello.
Hi, I'm Torri from Sapphire Trans Am, and I'm on.
It's good to have you on. It is.
Oh, thank you, Joe. Much happy to be here.
It is. It's a good time. It's a good time. It's snowing out right now.
It is. It is gorgeous outside, folks. For those of you at home, it is absolutely gorgeous here in University City, Philadelphia.
Yep.
Today.
What was it like? It's like what? 40 out or something? Or
oh no, it's got to be colder than that. I think it's actually like 29 or something.
I've been outside since this morning. So.
Also, like, how could it possibly be snowing if it were 40 degrees, Joe?
Things happen. Climate change. We discussed this last week.
But I don't think climate change changes how, like...
Physics works?
How physics works, yes.
Well, we've yet to see. 50 years.
That's true. That's true. We'll keeping our fingers crossed that hopefully we'll all be dead.
That it's actually 49.
49, yeah. I'm going to be... How old are you going to be in 50 years, Joe?
In 50 years, I will be... 69.
Nice.
I will be 69 in 2069.
I will be 70.
Ooh.
I'll be 70 years old. And frankly, that's fine. I think that, I used to get real nervous about climate change. And I still am, because I feel a lot for all the people who are going to be affected by it, especially like the most vulnerable among us.
Yeah.
Who society has continually ignored over the past centuries. But I think I'm learning how to stop worrying on my end because I'm not planning on having kids, and I'm going to be 70 by the time that all the shitty stuff really starts happening, so I'll, feel a lot for my family. But, for me personally, fuck it. I'll just die.
What I'm worried about is I'm from Miami.
Right.
And we're 5 feet above sea level. That is alarmingly close. Some would say too close. But then again, parts of Louisiana are below sea level, so we're not that bad.
Yeah, you're not. And also, I read a report recently that was saying, specifically, what's going to happen to the Mid-Atlantic. The Delaware River and the Schuylkill River both are going to rise several inches in the next, couple of decades. And there's a real possibility that, Penn's Landing could be underwater, and that, part of University City, or, 30th Street Station could be underwater.
Well, this 30th Street Station is raised compared to the Schuylkill, though.
Right.
It's so, what is that, 76, the highway that goes right there? 76 might have a little bit of an issue.
Oh, yeah, especially, the under part of the...
Yeah.
You're right. Oh, or in the Schuylkill River Trail on the other side, that could be completely out of work.
That's true, but I don't know. When I walk by there, and I think there's a good 3 feet between the top of the seawall and sea level. Now I'm not sure if that's just
I think that's low tide though. Have you seen it at high tide? I've seen
I've not.
If you walk down to where towards Chop on the other side of the river, obviously, there's a little it's not quite a dock, but it's a tiny little dock that just floats on the water. It's made of looks like
it's
aluminum.
one of those it's a floating dock.
Yes, it is a floating dock, and I've seen it at high tide where it's literally on par with the land, the trail, and that's possibility of that rising. It doesn't feel good.
Well, there is an option.
What's the option, Joe?
Build a wall.
Build a wall. Oh my god. That'll just make. But see, that doesn't solve anything because that would just make ocean levels rise.
What?
Wait, no, that doesn't make sense. I was thinking because if you build a wall, then the water will just get higher.
If I build if I fill up my bathtub and then I build the side of the bathtub higher, it doesn't fill the bathtub up anymore.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Okay, I was incorrect, but good assessment.
Yeah.
However,
we're not going to.
That doesn't seem practical.
It doesn't.
Also, that's a very that's a Band-Aid solution.
Yeah, I mean. Obviously, I'm not proposing that as an actual thing. Oh
yes, it was for jokes.
It was.
Yes.
It was a joke because it's topical. It is very topical.
What? Why?
Can
you please explain why that's funny to me? I've never heard of a politic before.
Well, you see, in today's society, we are. If you can't tell right now, I'm doing a thing where I'm pinching my fingers together, kind of making the OK sign.
It doesn't look good.
It doesn't at all. It doesn't really match the voice I'm doing.
Terrible impression.
I'm not trying to do an impression. If I wanted to do an impression, I would do an impression the right way. We'll just build a wall. We'll build a wall. It'll be a great wall. It'll block the ocean out. You know what? Why don't we just put the ocean in Mexico? We'll just put the ocean in
Mexico pay for it.
Mexico
will pay for the ocean.
Mexico will pay for the ocean.
Oh God, that's terrible.
Put the water on the moon.
So awful.
Put the water on Mars. Mars needs the water.
Mars needs the water. We can't go to Mars.
Elon Musk.
Have the water. Elon Musky.
Elongated muskrat.
Please get the water to Mars.
Please put the water on. You put a car in space.
Put a car in space. Let's
you
put the water in
We can
space.
do it with water bottles.
Millions of water bottles just being set, like with a t-shirt cannon, but like just a really powerful t-shirt cannon.
That was an idea for a little while, actually.
Wait, what?
Well, not like a big t-shirt cannon. It was an idea proposed to start shooting trash into space. It was just a really big cannon.
That's so terrible.
To just shoot garbage.
Worst idea. Again, Band-Aid that's so like just such like reactionist instead of like solving the actual problem. It's being very focused on like, all right, how do we, like, you're taking the problem instead of finding it at its source. You're saying, okay, well, how do we just alleviate this problem because it's this like, you know what I'm saying?
But now it's actually being put to good use, because now they realize that just shooting garbage into the atmosphere isn't a good idea. So what they want to do is they want to repurpose it to shoot small satellites.
Oh, okay.
So it's because it's a lot cheaper than rocketing it up there.
That's probably true. I'll take your word for it.
The issue with it is that you have to propel it so quickly, and that usually tears things apart. So they're still trying to figure that out. Nice. But it's an idea. And the Nazis had ideas for big guns already.
That's true.
I mean, that's a very quick transition. What's Goodwin's law? Like, you know, the longer conversation goes on, the more likely it is that Nazis are going to come into the conversation.
Hitler and whatnot.
Yeah.
Then we've reached that point here.
We have. How long has it been? 6 minutes and 45 seconds.
6 minutes in.
Like almost 7 minutes in, we've already started talking about Nazis. This is great.
Good stuff here, folks.
You know, YouTube will demonetize this.
I hope so.
I mean, I'm not monetized in the first place. I don't have enough subscribers.
I can't imagine you would.
Yeah, I have. I don't know how many. I think at the moment 15.
Hey, you gotta start somewhere.
I do have to start somewhere, but in order to get monetized, I need 1,000.
That would make sense. I hope these 15 subscribers go follow me on Instagram.
They should.
At Sapphire_Transam, because
they do.
Joe can account for this. I just played a show last night at the old late night series on Drexel's campus in the Crease Center every Thursday evening. Sign-ups are at 8:30. Sign-ups are at 8. Show is at 8:30. Yes. I'm sorry. And I played, and Mo and I played, who actually
was on last week.
Yes, they absolutely were. And Joe, I would like your assessment here. I believe we rocked the house. Could you corroborate?
I have to say, the house was sufficiently rocked.
So yeah, I don't have any.
I'm not a geologist or anything.
Oh.
But it was rocked.
Well, you heard it here first, folks. So yeah, you should go follow me. I don't have any music you can listen to right now, unfortunately, but
it's coming soon.
It's coming quite soon. I'm gonna have a single up on all streaming platforms by the end of the month.
Oh,
so yeah,
that's soon.
It is soon. That's what I said. That's why I said soon.
Oh.
So
I didn't pick up on that.
Follow me at Sapphire_Transam.
That's
and,
good. I'll put a link in the description.
A link will be in the description box.
Hey, go check out in the description, guys. I don't know. Sorry, go ahead.
Joe, how many cups of Joe do you think I've had today already?
Let's see, because you said you got some before you came here. Yes. You said there's some in that.
Yes, there are some.
So I'm gonna say.
Also, for the record, that coffee container holds 2 cups of coffee.
So we're gonna judge by actual measuring cups of coffee, not how many times you've drank coffee today.
Yes, I mean per cup. How many cups of coffee?
7.
Not that much, but I wish. I'm at about 5.
Ah.
And I feel great.
I mean, I got out of my exam today, and I had a double shot espresso, which was good.
Fun. That does sound good.
It was good. I went down to Joe's Coffee down here.
Oh yes, there's another Joe's.
Yeah, we're not affiliated at all.
No, not even a little bit.
But if they want to sponsor me,
I'm sure they don't.
They don't?
Well, I mean, maybe if this really picks up,
maybe
if this could be the episode. This could be the one that goes viral.
Yeah,
you never
because
know.
I've actually mentioned them in this one.
Yeah, and they could hear and be like, hey,
this guy's got a cool name.
Yeah, he's got a cool name because it's Joe, and we're also Joe.
It's not generic.
And we're talking about Joe, which is coffee, and I'm drinking coffee. Yeah.
Yeah.
Happy International Women's Day, Joe.
Oh my god, yeah. Also, I just realized that's why Captain Marvel came out on March 8th.
You're right.
Today I sat there and I was like, man, Captain Marvel's out today, and I might go see it tonight. Maybe. I don't know. By the way, if you couldn't tell, we're recording this on a Friday.
On a Friday. It is, what's today's date? March 8th? Is it March 8th
it's March
today?
8th.
I'm so bad at dates.
It's
so bad.
Honestly, I've lost track. I know it's the 8th because Captain... No. We're on air right now. We're on air. I'm going to write down the time on that, actually, so we can... Should I write it? Yeah, I'll write it right.
Write it wherever you want.
I'm going to write it as about 9 minutes in.
I would like to also advocate for all trans women on behalf of myself and say that Happy International Women's Day to you as well. Yeah. You're valid. Those are pretty much all the things that I wanted to talk about. I've raised all the points that I was like, when I come on this podcast, I want to talk about the cups of Joe I've had today.
Okay.
My performance last night at L&S.
All right.
And Happy International Women's Day, especially to all the trans folks out there.
All right. And we're done 12 minutes in. That's not going to be 12 minutes. We can talk for a little while.
Oh, yeah. I mean...
We can go into more depth on anything.
Yeah, and also, just saying I wanted to talk about doesn't mean that we're done. There are so many topics that we've yet to explore.
That's true. I was going to finish my point on...
Please do.
On Captain Marvel.
On Captain Marvel, yes. You were discussing the Marvel superhero Captain Marvel.
Cinematic universe, yes. The MCU. I'm going to pad runtime. No, I'm not. Basically, I was sitting on the couch today and I was like, Captain Marvel came out today. Then I also saw a post on International Women's Day, and I was like, oh, that's today. That makes sense. Oh, wait a minute, that's why they put it out today. Because I was wondering why so close to Endgame? Why so close? Because it's like about a month and a half until Endgame comes out, April 26th.
Every time I look anywhere, they're coming out with a new movie. I don't understand.
Well, that's what movies do. They come out.
But as someone who works in movies take forever. Every movie takes so long to make, and it's like I'm impressed but also scared by Marvel's production. Like the sheer force and quickness and efficiency that Marvel's production line has. It's scary, honestly.
Well, because you got to remember, they have Disney's backing and resources and all that. But also, they started filming Infinity War way back, like late 2016.
I forgot. It's
all in advance. It's all a big process. Like, we don't even know when Jumanji 3's coming out.
And Jumanji 3?
Yeah.
Didn't Mo just go film Jumanji 2?
No. Well, technically. Okay, do you want to... No, because Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle is Jumanji 2.
Oh, is it? Yeah, does it technically... I feel bad. I've never seen it. My friend is in a movie that I've never seen. Is it like actually a sequel?
Yeah, the movie opens with the original board game on the beach where it's in France, but it's not in France anymore, so they kind of retconned that, and then it realizes that no one wants to play no one wants to play board games, so it transforms itself into a video game.
That's cool.
It is. I liked it. And yeah, so they just finished Jumanji 3. I want to make sure my computer's... Okay, good. My computer's muted. Because we've had an issue on both episodes where my computer goes off and it dings.
Oh, you love a good ding.
A good ding. But I always have my computer on max volume. And so it's always just like a...
Overdrive. That was my best deep voice.
That was your best deep voice?
Oh, thank you.
I can go deep.
Going deep.
I can go deep for you, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, God, Joe, no one wants to hear that.
We're going to go deep.
We're going to go shallow and topical.
I want to go shallow and dive into the shallow end of the pool.
I did that. So I used to be on the swim team when I was... Really?
Yeah.
What was your stroke?
Freestyle.
Oh, nice.
And breaststroke.
Breaststroke, that's good. I wanted to be very good at breaststroke, but I wasn't. Like, I could do it, and I had the form, but I wasn't very fast on it. My stroke was backstroke. I was real good at backstroke. Yeah.
I was just jammed my fingers into the lane line.
You gotta learn how to count. You gotta count.
I know how to count. It's just
no, you don't.
Like what would happen is I'd go 1, 2, like this, and I can I can look at the flags, know how many strokes I have. I had 4. It wasn't very fast.
No.
But my issue is that in the middle of the pool, when you lose sight of where you are, because it's an open air pool.
Yeah.
And so you just sort of looking at the sky, and you sort of lose like your sense of direction and where you're going.
Oh, so you would like
I'd drift a little bit to the side because I pull too hard with one hand, and then I'm still going, and then.
That's a shame. That is a shame. Well, anyway, when I was on the swim team, I dove into the shallow end twice in the same practice, and the lifeguard yelled at me 2 times.
That makes sense.
Yeah. First time was like, "Hey, you shouldn't do that." And I was like, "I know, I'm sorry, I made a mistake." And then the next time I went down, I literally did the exact same thing. And the guy was just, the look of sheer disappointment in his face, it sticks with me to this day.
Does it?
I will never dive in the shallow end ever again.
My dad made sure I never dove in the shallow end. Actually, neither of my parents, actually. Mostly my dad. He scared me with the whole, like, if you dive into the shallow end, you're going to break your neck and drown. Because that's actually just the reality of it.
Well, if you're dumb...
Yeah.
If you don't know how to level out.
Well, because he told me when I was 4.
Well, that makes sense. 4-year-olds are notoriously dumb.
I was a very dumb child.
I can see that. That makes sense.
Does it?
Yes.
Thanks for insulting me on my own podcast.
That's not an insult. It's just the truth.
It's true.
I didn't say you're dumb now, but I said that
it makes sense that
you were dumb then. It's okay. Most 4-year-olds are stupid. It's all right.
Did I tell you about the time that I tried to fly as a kid?
No, but please do.
Oh, this one's a fun one. This one's straight out of like a horror movie or Stephen King book. I was like, I want to fly, and my parents were having a party, and I was like, And I was like, well, obviously I can't fly like Peter Pan or anything like that. I don't have any magic abilities or anything. But I know how they do it in the movies, and that's when they, strap stuff to you and they sort of fling you around. And I was like, what's the closest thing I have to that? Oh, I know, the thing on the blinds.
Oh, God, oh, no.
So I was like, okay, well, I can't wrap it around my waist. It's not long enough.
Right.
I can't wrap it around my wrist because I'm just sort of like this.
That would have been fun. just hanging in there with your limp wrist, just one hand up, just floating. That wouldn't hurt at all.
So I had the genius idea of wrapping the thing around my neck and jumping off my bed.
That's really smart. I don't understand why that would have been a problem.
My dad got really angry when he came in and saw me doing that.
I can't imagine why.
It was...
That could have... That I don't see how that could have gone poorly at all.
Yeah.
Not even a little bit. I have a similar story, except less grave.
Okay.
Where I was really into Spider-Man as a young lassie. I was really into... I don't know why I couldn't decide whether to say girl or lassie, and it kind of just... My lassie... Who uses the word lassie in Philadelphia?
Unless someone's in a well.
Unless someone's in a well. Yes, that's a good place to use that. But anyway, as a young lassie, I wanted to climb up the walls like Spider-Man. And actually, it's funny, my neighbors knew... my next-door neighbors were like my only friends when I was growing up. And they knew how much I loved Spider-Man and how much I wanted to climb up walls. And they created lies to me, like mean people.
Oh.
Yes. Oh, they lied to me and said that like my other neighbors, like they had a birthday party recently and they got like gloves that could make them climb up walls, and I wasn't invited, and that made me really bitter. And to compensate for that, I put tape on my hands and tried climbing up the brick wall outside of my house, and let me tell you, it worked spectacularly.
Oh,
I climbed all the way up, I jumped off the roof, and I died.
And you swung.
Oh yeah, and I swung. I spun webs out of my hand. Yeah, no, unfortunately, I just kind of stood there and with my hands taped to the wall for like a good 30 seconds before I was like, there's nothing I can do about this. I can't move from this situation. I cannot go up. And I got real sad that I wasn't a superhero.
You forgot to put the tape on your feet. That was your biggest mistake.
That would have, yeah. I should have done that. But I was wearing shoes, and like, how can you, like, I couldn't. I was too scared to get my like other foot up on the thing, because I would have just fallen backwards onto the pavement, and that would have hurt.
It would have. Probably should have done it like with a pillow.
Where?
Just like to catch you, like a.
Oh right, that wouldn't have been a bad idea. I wish I had thought of that, but again, I was like 8 at the time.
That's true.
I just wanted to be a superhero.
When I was when I was younger and in way better shape because I was a lot lighter and just my body could, do better things.
My body was just in general better.
It was. When I was like 10, I really liked climbing trees, so I'd climb trees, but I always get like really high in the tree.
Oh yeah.
Like I was like, and like that way, like I was a little parkour kid.
Oh yeah, you gotta be.
I didn't actually do parkour, but I was really good at climbing stuff and like finding ways to get up on stuff.
Yeah.
So I remember once we were playing Manhunt.
Oh god, you love Manhunt. So many Manhunt-based memories.
It's basically just giant tag.
Yeah, I hope
that's why I loved it.
I hope our viewers grew up in the suburbs because that's where Manhunt is. And it's good.
All my viewers are mostly my friends from Miami that I played Manhunt with.
Oh wow! So you guys know about the radness and awesomeness of Manhunt. One time I played Manhunt with walkie-talkies, and that was the best Manhunt experience I've ever had. Also, same game of Manhunt, some chick got clotheslined and we had to stop.
Oh.
So, best of both worlds.
I mean, like, we've had injuries during Manhunt, but that never stopped us. Because, Miami kids.
Yeah, I
Florida
guess
kids, mostly.
Florida, that makes sense that you would just keep going through the blood and tears.
Oh my god, it was great. Like, I remember once I got sunburned really badly because I got up, like, I decided my hiding spot was going to be the neighbor's roof.
Wait, you played Manhunt in the day?
Well, like, because it was a friend's birthday party.
Oh, okay.
Like, we played Manhunt at night. And Manhunt at night was cool because we'd go hide in the mangroves, which was an awful idea, by the way.
That sounds fun. I don't know what you're talking about.
But like gators.
Gators?
Gators and crocs. Crocs, because mostly crocodiles, because, mangroves are saltwater plants.
No, I did not know that, but now I do.
They're cool. They're big plants.
They're big plants.
There's no visual aspect to this, so no one saw what I did. Basically, I did like a crab motion with my arms.
Yeah,
and then just said plants.
It didn't make any sense. It was funny.
But if you know what a mangrove looks like, this makes sense.
What makes sense, Joe?
God damn it.
But please continue.
But so I hit up on the neighbor's roof, and I sat there for an hour in the hot July Miami sun.
Fun.
And I got really badly sunburned.
That'll do it.
And I came down and I was like, guys, did you just give up? And they're like, yeah, we've been playing basketball. We were wondering why we had all, because it was me and Donovan were the tallest out of our friend group. And we were like, yeah, we were wondering why we were short a tall person.
It's funny. I also used to climb trees a whole lot in my youth. I remember, oh man, there was this one girl, Maureen Farley, that I had a huge crush on, and the way that we would interact most often was by climbing trees together, and it was very romantic and
ooh,
yes, it was quite sensual. Climbing up all this bark. But no, it was a lot of fun. And one time I went up and do you remember iPod Touches?
I do.
I was listening to music because I'm a very music-oriented person. I pretty much am always listening to music. It's just the kind of person I am, and I've been like that since day one. God damn it!
And that's why she makes music.
That's why she makes music. And yeah, I was climbing up this tree, listening with my headphones to music on my iPod Touch, and my headphones this was like the tallest tree in our neighborhood. It's at least like 40 feet high, like at least. And I am also the type of person, I wanted to go all the way the up. I wanted to see how high I could get. And I was about maybe like a little more than halfway up the tree, so about like 25 to 30 feet up. And my headphones got snagged on a branch, and I watched my iPod Touch plummet to the earth. I was like watching it, it was like in slow motion, just like flipping and turning, and then it landed face down on the pavement, and I was like, oh, good. Ooh. So that was a fun moment. That was not Manhunt related. But I do have a tree-related Manhunt story. Okay. I actually have several Manhunt stories. I don't know how in-depth we want to get into the Manhunt conversation here.
I have another tree story. If we like, just
okay. Well, let's keep the trees the centric. So
let's put it on the schedule.
On the schedule, we're already how deep are we into this? Yeah, we're already like 25 minutes in.
Yep.
Put it on the schedule. Just put it on. So I was playing Manhunt once, and I hid in a tree that was a really good hiding spot. Like, so the way we played was there was like two roads that intersected, and this tree, and the base was on one of the roads, and the tree was on the opposite road, but the tree faced the base, and it was maybe like 200 feet from where the base was, where you run and you tag and you yell freedom to get all your friends out of there, so your team can continue playing the game. So I hid in that tree, but the problem was it was real tough to get up there. Like, there was one side where the branches were lower to the ground, but also if you were to hide up there, you'd be super visible. Like, people would instantly know you're there. But on the other side, the branches are lofted a little higher and they're covered by leaves, so you can just, like, crouch there and no one will see you. But it's a good 10, 15 feet off the ground, where the other side is probably more like 7 feet.
Yeah.
And 7 feet. 7 feet's still pretty tall. Like, that's a person, but you can easily just like swing down and go run. But I, in all my infinite wisdom, decided I'm gonna go for the higher one because it's more covered.
Yeah.
And my original plan was to wait until the right moment and then transfer the other side of the tree and then swing down. But I was the last person to get caught. I was the last person, like, everyone else on my team had gotten caught. And I saw an opportunity. Like, people moved, but they moved so quickly that I was like, I don't have time to get to the other half of the tree. If I want to free my friends, I gotta go now. And so I almost broke my hip. I just landed wrong and then, like, hobbled. Like, I tried to swing, but I tried to, like, put my hands on the branch and, like,
then you
jump
down
off and swing out. But my hands slipped. Ooh. So I just, like, I landed on my feet, thank God, but my hips did not like it, and so I kind of, like, hobbled over and then got caught immediately. So we lost that game.
I have a story. This one's also about jumping out of a tree.
Trees.
This is a tree one. Trees are the topic right now. So, went to the park. This isn't Manhunt related. We weren't playing Manhunt at the time, but we were just at a park climbing trees.
Yeah, how you do.
Yeah, I was with a couple friends, and I was up pretty high in this tree, and I suddenly got the urge, nature called.
As it does.
It does. It did. Nature called. And I was up pretty high in this tree. I want to say I was about 15 feet up. Just about. And I was like, okay, I got to get down from here. But the position I had to get in to get down was very awkward, and I was worried that I wouldn't be able to hold it if I did that.
Wait, do you mean hold your urine or hold on to the branch?
Hold number 2. We're not talking. This is number 2.
We're not talking about number 1. We're talking about jeez.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So you're spreading cheeks.
Yeah. And so.
Dear God, Joe.
This is quite the story that I'm gonna put on the internet.
All right, right on the internet, right on it.
Yep, doesn't matter honestly. So.
15 subscribers.
Yeah, most of them know this story.
Okay. All right.
So. Unless this takes off and then millions of people will know.
It might, we talked about trees. Trees are topical. That's viral.
Yeah, trees. I'll put that in the tags.
Climate change.
I can put Fortnite in the tags. We have to say Fortnite like 5 times. I can put it in the tags and then get it lumped in with that.
Fortnite is a game I've never played.
Fortnite has trees sometimes.
Other video games also have trees in them sometimes.
Other video games sometimes have Fortnite.
Holy shit. Do you know a fortnight is also a measurement of time?
What? Oh, yeah, that's right. 2 weeks.
2 weeks, baby. All right, please continue with your shitting story.
My mom listens to this. She doesn't like the cursing.
I'm so sorry, Joe's mother.
I'm going to bleep you out. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know. You should have told me beforehand.
I should have.
I don't think did I drop the F-bomb earlier? I probably did. I use it a lot.
I'll listen back through. I don't think you did, though.
Okay, well, I'm sorry.
I didn't clench
Joe's mother.
I didn't clench my butthole, so I don't think you did.
Okay, all right.
So, anyways, speaking of clenching my butthole. So, I'm up in this tree, and I'm like, okay, I've got the option of potentially, if I spread too far to get down and then get home, or I jump. So, I got very familiar with Newton's first law, where I jumped and I stopped moving. But something did not.
Oh, God. So you just like right there, like you just crashed down onto the sidewalk or onto the grass and just like in your pants? The whole nine? That is...
Yeah, that was...
Did you wobble home? or did you just like? How do you handle that situation?
I sat in the position that I landed in. I called my mom. Mom, come pick me up from the park.
I had an accident at the park. I'm 4 years old.
Oh, I was 10.
Yeah, of course you were.
Oh, come on, give me some credit. It made me know to never eat McDonald's before I climb trees.
Yeah. I had a similar experience, but it was not out of necessity. It was because I was ill. It also took place on my birthday in a log cabin that we had rented to ski on my birthday, because when I was younger, actually, I still do like skiing, but I can't freaking afford it because skiing is quite expensive for the unindoctrinated listener. So we don't really do it anymore. But this was back when we had a little more money, and I don't know, I really like skiing. So for my 13th birthday, I was turning 13, big year, and your girl got a stomach bug real hard, and I vomited all over the carpet of this like very nice rented log cabin, and I went through several pairs of underwear, 3 of which weren't mine. Sorry, Uncle Dan. I still feel bad for destroying your own underwear all those years ago. That was not a fun trip, and we had to leave like a day early because I was just spouting out both ends on my birthday. It was bad.
It was that sounds awful.
Yeah, it was.
I'm really glad that this took a turn from trees to number 2
and vomit. Don't forget vomit.
Vomit, yeah. Gotta vom.
Gotta vom.
I've heard that being used a couple times. My friends some of my friends use it. I use it a lot. The Game Grumps is where we got it from, though. We got it from the Game Grumps.
You and your grump games.
You don't know the Game Grumps?
I don't. If I'm being honest, listeners and Joe, I don't internet too much.
Okay.
I stay. The corners of the internet that I inhabit are either like politics, or music or movie stuff. That's pretty much the majority of the internet that I do, and like that's YouTube, correct? The gamer grumpies are on the YouTubes. On YouTube, I mostly watch. Who do I enjoy on the YouTubes? ContraPoints is great. Big shout out to ContraPoints. She's freaking awesome. If you want videos on stuff that's funny and informative, she's good. Very current hip stuff within the. I think if you liked Game Grumps, you would also like ContraPoints. It's very different, but
yeah,
the things that they talk about, I feel like have some overlap, or like at least in the community. Yeah, all right. I don't know that kind of went on a tangent there.
You dropped something.
Yeah, I pick it back up, Joe.
I think what would be fun is if at some point I get you and my friend Donovan on the podcast, because he's also he watches Game Grumps stuff, but he's also big on politics on YouTube and
okay. I would love to. I like ContraPoints. I like H Bomber Guy. He's real good. Maggie Mayfish is also awesome, but that's more movie stuff than politics. But sometimes she gets into politics, but it's mostly movie stuff.
The thing about it is that he's very much on the opposite side of the spectrum.
Oh, that'll be interesting.
It would be.
As long as he will respect me as a person.
He's respectful. We've debated, like him and I have debated. He's debated other people. He debates in class. Mm-hmm. He's very respectful about it. Very good. He's pretty good at it too.
Well, luckily I am too. My psychology teacher in senior year told me that I was the best debater in the psychology class, which is, I mean, that's not saying much, but hey. You know, I got something going for me.
In high school, I was in a theory of knowledge class.
The theory of knowledge.
Yep, and that was a lot of debate and discourse, and I was mostly just inflammatory. Because it was funny. It was funny to be like, hey, the world's overpopulated, genocide.
Yes, it is funny, but also there's this historical precedent for that kind of stuff, which is not funny.
Yeah.
Gotta admit, like, the you know...
I was thinking more like Thanos style.
Yes, Thanos style, like just total annihilation of the human species. Now that is humorous and also good. But genocide towards specific groups who are just trying to be themselves, just trying to live their lives and not hurt anyone or get in the way of anyone. It's not fun. That's sad.
It is. But that's like targeted.
Yes.
That's specifically targeted.
Yeah, and
that's for a different reason than saving the planet.
Yes. Do you remember that guy who performed at Late Night who was like, it is our duty as generation to end humanity? Like, that shit is hysterical, and I agree with it.
Okay. Definitely. But yeah, so in Theory of Knowledge, I was listed as one of the better people at it because I was the only one that kind of like, gave a crap.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed it, and I always threw my points all over the place. I either inflated what I actually believe or completely spoke against what I believe in order to just like play devil's advocate and stuff.
Yeah, devil's advocate is lame.
It's fun.
Yeah, it's fun, but to a certain extent. Like there are some arguments where playing devil's advocate is humorous and can add an interesting element to the conversation. But also, like, I knew this guy. I also debated a lot in this. It's called RIT 210. It's the peer reader in context, which sounds lame, but it's actually super exciting because half of the class, it's kind of like a prereq class for being a tutor at the Writing Center on campus, which I am. Hey. If you go to Drexel and need a paper written, ask for your girl Torri. I'm great at it. It's something that I think I'm actually half decent at. So in that class, like, half of it is talking about like the idea of like, well, how to be a good tutor, and the other half is like talking about like how English works and like the connotations and intricacies that go into language in regards to race, in regards to religion, in regards to just different social factors. And there was a guy. It's funny because you mentioned your friend Donovan, who I'm sure would get along with Jeremy quite well, who is my personal adversary in that class. We respected each other, but also pretty much every single class we would butt heads. But it was good and constructive. But also, like, by the end of the term, like, every time he'd be like, just to play devil's advocate, I would be like, oh my god, Jeremy, just like I don't mind people sticking to their I don't mind the idea of playing devil's advocate, but if that's like your entire argumentative state, like if that's just where you reside, as in like I'm gonna be contrarian just to be contrarian, it just gets annoying. Like, I want to know what you believe in. I want to know what you stand for, and then we can have a conversation and maybe find some middle ground.
What I do when I play devil's advocate is mostly like, especially in the context of Theory of Knowledge, it would be someone gives a presentation on something and then the debate opens up to the class. And what I would do is first I would play devil's advocate, and in doing that, my attempt was to just show where a lot of the flaws in their point was. Whereas like I'm trying to think of a good example. There was one, I might have told you about this one.
Okay.
The one where someone gave a presentation on Ray Rice.
Okay.
And you know what happened with Ray Rice, right?
Remind me.
He's a football player, and he got in trouble because security footage came out of him and his girlfriend having a fight, and he knocked her out. Yes, okay, I do remember. He's the girlfriend beater, the wife beater, all that nonsense. Very popular in the NFL. Now, here's the thing. The issue I had with their presentation is that, A, they had an edited video that showed him just swinging at her. They didn't have the rest of the context to it. Mm-hmm. So that I found a little fishy. The other thing is that they said he's a horrible person. And yeah, you shouldn't hit women. It's an awful thing. Don't do it. I think just hitting your spouse in general, like whether or not they're I don't think their gender has anything to do with it. I think if you love someone and you're in like a committed relationship, physical violence is never the answer. Now, here's the thing: where I started, breaking down, the argument of that he's the complete bad guy and he's the only bad guy in this situation. He's not. His wife was hitting him a lot first. She was beating up, like, again, yeah, he's a football player. He doesn't feel it that much. But, like, she's also hitting him. Yeah. And she's calling him the N-word a lot. And I think, and this was a point that a couple of friends and I made, is that if his wife was replaced with a white guy, Ray Rice is a hero. But because it's his wife, he's the all-out bad guy. So... All right, but Ray Rice, but that
we don't have to get into this.
We don't
right
need
now.
to.
But like, so I just like if we were going to have a debate about this right now, like I know exactly how I would not necessarily like poke holes in your argument, but I would know like. I would say something to the extent of like, all right, but that situation, like if it were a white guy, that would be entirely different. That'd be a totally different context. However, like I think like playing devil's advocate, like getting back to how we started this, like playing devil's advocate to do something like that, to say like, okay, so I'm going to, all right, so what if I were like X, Y, or Z, like something that's like the complete antithesis of what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And I went about it like this. What would you say to me then? And just as a way to, again, like poke holes in their argument or get them to clarify meaning or to see like...
There's a flaw here.
Yeah, there's
like, okay, my reasoning doesn't add up.
I think a shoe? Oh, no, my phone. It was my phone. It's okay. I'll get it later. But yeah, no, I understand where you're coming from with that, and I don't necessarily mind that, and I think it can be constructive. Like, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez,
AOC, I don't know.
AOC, was played devil's advocate recently in Congress to say something along the lines of like someone made a point, and she responded by being like, all right, so what if they're talking about money in politics and saying like, all right, so what if I was a really bad guy and I wanted to do bad things and make money and do in illegal ways, and I wanted to do crime, and then like went through all the like, so if I wanted to do this, this, and this, would I be allowed to like, you know, the chairman of committees and companies and whatnot, and that was really an interesting way to play devil's advocate, because you know all these they were all like, yes, you could do that, yes, you could do that, like, and you know, and she's clearly trying to point and say, hey, the president is probably this really, like, it would be very easy for the president of the United States to be this bad guy that we're talking about. And also, you know, and that also goes back to like all the evidence and whatnot. It's a good supplement to that.
We've definitely had this. We've definitely talked about this before. I think with the morality of money. We've definitely talked about this.
We have had this conversation.
We have had this conversation, and I bring it back. I'm gonna bring this back to the same point where, and I've had this debate with other people, and I've had it recently actually, with another person who will remain nameless. I don't need to bring him into this. So
it's okay.
I don't like it when people associate success with immorality, or associating being rich with being evil. I don't get that. I don't get why success is now starting to get demonized in the United States, or anywhere actually, because while some people say, well, like, you can make the claim that it's like, oh, they could pay their workers more, they could do this more, they could do that more. There's always the point that those jobs and those workers wouldn't have those jobs if this person didn't do this. Or to the point of AOC, she said that it was immoral to be a billionaire. That was her, right? Or was that, am I thinking of somebody else?
That's a generally just popular ideology in the left.
I don't agree with that.
But I understand why you don't agree with that, but when you look at the economics of, like, when you really break down, like, people keep saying, like, oh, the economy is booming, which is accurate, but only the top tier of people are seeing that wealth. The rest of us down here, and you too, are not seeing any of that. In fact, things are getting worse for us. So I don't think people are saying, and this is how I feel, I don't think, like, I'm not upset that people are making money. I'm happy to see people be successful, especially people I know, though I don't really know anyone very successful. But there's no problem with being successful. It's being successful in context. It's the idea that if you're able to amass that much money, and you look at how people do that, they are taking advantage of other people. There's absolutely no way you can become a billionaire without taking advantage, without stiffing your workers or people under you. It's just, in today's economy, the way that it works, it's relatively not possible to be a moral billionaire. Now, you should be, by the time you reach that, you should be either giving most of your money away, or, you know, feeding it back into the workers, or giving them proper health insurance, or, like, yeah, I think that success in and of itself is good, but I think that you need to have some context to it. And I am fine with people being successful. That's always how things are going to be in underneath, capitalist society. That people will rise to the top, but you need to hold those people at the top accountable.
But now here's my issue with that is that yeah, stiffing people over and everything. That's business, because that's the point of hold on. Capitalism is competition, and competition you got to beat people out. It's capitalism. Think about it like the wild. I'm gonna bring this all back to social Darwinism, and I know.
Hold on. Up with social Darwinism.
I'm gonna have to censor you again.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Joe's mom.
I'm not about censorship, but I can't have.
That's fine. I'm so sorry.
It's all right. But okay, I know people don't like social Darwinism, and I don't subscribe to the full definition of social Darwinism. I use it more as a term to describe I use it to describe business and not people. I use it to describe a business
businesses are made of people, and each person. Okay, no. You make your point first.
The original thing with social Darwinism is that it was made to justify aristocracy in early what was it? 19th century France?
Sure.
I think 1800s France.
Sure.
Yeah, it was made to justify that. So it's like basically these people are rich because that's how they're. It's just in their genes. The context that I use it in is that businesses survive, thrive, and succeed because they're the best at doing what they do. So the reason why Amazon is doing so well is because they found a need and filled it the way nobody else could have. So that's the way I see stuff like that. That's what I mean by Darwinism. And so far, and when someone comes out with a better idea, it will change. Things change. It's not something that we're going to see short term, because we're talking about taking down, we're talking about shifts in billion-dollar companies right now. That takes time. Things don't just go away overnight.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like look at Toys R Us. This is the best example I can think of right now. Toys R Us was the leading place to go get your toys. It's dead. It's gone because Amazon exists and you can just order your toys online. So why go to the store?
So are you just
when I say social Darwinism,
are you anti-small business?
I'm not anti-small business. I'm pro innovation.
I'm also pro innovation, but it's important to know, you can say that, and you're absolutely right. Amazon did fill a niche, and they filled it very, very well. Mm-hmm. But also, you're operating under the assumption of a meritocracy, which is 100% not true. There's a vast majority of people, not majority, I'm sorry. There's a vast number of people in our country that do not have the same opportunities as everyone else. If you are, depending on where you were born, and the amenities that you are offered from birth, depending on who your parents are and how much money they have, and how much money you're able to invest in your ideas, how much capital you're able to invest in your ideas, that's where you can get that innovation. But not everyone is able to do that based on things that are completely out of their control.
I know, and I'm not going to...
Let me finish, because I want to make a point here. I think that... you're absolutely right. Capitalism is competition, and competition means pushing other people to the side. And I'm not a fan of capitalism in general. I think that a society that forces people to compete is dumb and goes against, it brings out the worst in people. Yeah, I know, you don't agree with that, and that's fine. But if we're gonna have this discussion, this debate in a capitalist, capitalist realm, I think that you can, competition is absolutely important, but competition shouldn't come at the expense of human rights.
Wait, okay, hold.
Let me finish. So what I'm saying is, Amazon, so if we're talking about Amazon specifically, so for years and years and years and years and years, they were not offering their workers a living wage, and they were forcing them to work insane hours. 15-hour days, especially during the holidays, which is that's ridiculous. And you can fill a niche and be an online, it's, I don't know, I feel like I just feel like, if you're going to be that successful as a company and fill that niche so well, like, you can compete with other companies by offering products like quicker and faster and whatever, but by doing that, that comes at the expense of good quality labor. That's when you see companies like Nike, who have a huge history of child labor, or companies like Walmart, huge history of child labor and mistreating their employees like crazy, just so that they can rise to the top. And that's why that's a huge flaw of capitalism, that it encourages people to break the law. It encourages people to because people are driven to make more money, and everything, especially with advertisement and marketing, it's all about consume so that you can make money, so we can have money, so you can have money, when we'll all be happy. But that's not necessarily how it works.
Okay, so a couple things I want to talk right here.
Also, fair warning, we should wrap this up soon, because I have to let's finish out this debate, and then
okay, because we're almost at an hour anyway, so we're gonna have to wrap up soon anyways. My response to that, first to your point that capitalism is a system that doesn't work the best because it's based on competition and people competing isn't a good idea. You're right, capitalism isn't a perfect system. It's not. I just think the alternatives don't work. I don't think socialism or anything in that same regard works that well. Mostly because based on, history, it doesn't seem to work very well. Because let me give you...
I used to be like you, Joe. I used to think that about, 2 years ago, I felt the exact same way, that, I don't like capitalism, but I don't know what else, because, historically, socialism is... Anyway, please continue. Please continue.
So, 2 points, two things I want to say on that. One, let me give you a quick example right here. And I think I made the burger flipping example to you a while ago, right?
Yes, you have made the burger flipping example to me.
So, okay, quick sum up. I won't go through the full thing. Quick sum up about it. Basically, there's two scenarios. A, you go to work, you flip burgers. Each burger you flip, you get $3. Scenario B.
That's not true, though. No one's making $3.
It's an example. It's an example for however much work you put in is how much you're going to get out.
Again, that's not true, though. You can use that example, but that's not how capitalism works.
It's not. It's clearly a simplified example just to prove a point that communalism and socialism doesn't work the way you think it's going to. Because in practice, everyone is like the billionaires at the top, where they just want money. They'll do anything to get the money they want. Because that's just how people are.
No, yes. No. You're right. People do want money. People are greedy. That's true. But they only want it as much as we want it because society tells us to want it. Because the way society works influences how we perceive things. I think, I'm talking, you were right earlier when you said that, none of this can happen in a short period of time. I'm thinking, in order to do what I would... and I'm not advocating for... I don't really know what I'm advocating for. Not, straight up. I don't know if I'm on board with, massive socialism across the board. But I do have socialist ideals, and I like some potential implementations. I mean, Medicare is socialist. Social Security is socialist.
Both those programs I think are kind of flawed. Medicare.
Oh, yeah, of course they're flawed. Jesus Christ, yes.
Well, because obviously, inherently.
Yeah.
In some level they could work if they're done right. But of course, the governments just can't do anything right.
That I will agree on.
We can agree on that. The government can't do anything right. So we're both libertarians.
No, I'm not a libertarian. Jeez, no, I'm not a libertarian.
Jeez. Okay, if you couldn't
you believe in nothing.
If you couldn't, what do you mean I believe in nothing? I believe in my own personal rights.
Yeah, but you don't believe, libertarianism, the main flaw, at least for me, is, libertarians don't consider other people at all. You're just all right, what can I do? But you're not, thinking how those actions impact the rest of the population.
That's, borderline anarchistic libertarianism. The level of Okay, hold on, because the level of libertarian I operate at is one where it's hey, look, y'all can do you. We're gonna do our best to make it, good for everybody. But as long as I get to do me, I'm happy.
Right, and but that again operates under a meritocracy in which everyone has an equal opportunity, but everyone doesn't. And in a perfect world, Joe, yes, I agree with you, but the world is not
It's
perfect.
not, and I agree with that 100%. The other point I wanted to make, a lot of my opinions do come from, I'm Cuban, right?
Yes, I'm aware.
Half my family grew up in Cuba under Castro. It was not fun.
Yeah, bad communism, not good.
Very bad communism. So you can understand why a lot of my viewpoints are very much...
Of course.
Yeah. And
I think you have every right to think that way. And Joe, we've been friends for a little while, I enjoy having these conversations.
They're fun.
You.
I like this.
They are, yes.
And maybe we can keep this going. Part 2 eventually.
Part 2 eventually.
Maybe with Donovan.
Maybe with Donovan.
This would be fun.
Getting all political up in the Joe cup of coffee time.
And
I could, and if we do this again, I would like to have actual list of talking points that I could prepare beforehand. Because again, I do like talking about this stuff, but it's so much easier for me if I have a reference point and if I can cite things as opposed to just saying this is how I feel.
What I'm probably gonna do, because Donovan's a little bit more extreme than I am. I'm pretty in the middle when it comes to things. I lean right, obviously, and I'm obviously libertarian. So on the political compass, I'm a little bit into the bottom right of the political compass. Donovan is around the same as me, just a little bit further to the right.
To the right, okay. I'm wait, what's the top? I always
top
forget.
it's authoritarian on the top, libertarian on the bottom, right, left and right.
Yeah, so I'm I don't know. I halfway left and the tiniest bit down.
You are very far left.
Okay, well, compared to you, but I'm not as far left as some people I know.
That's true.
I'm not an anarchist or anything, and also I'm talking about a relatively democratic socialism, but with the lean on socialism. Still, I do like a democracy, but again, I just think the systems that are in place really are not fair for a large portion of the population, and I want to fix that.
I think this is definitely going to be a very interesting part 2.
I think it will be as well.
We are going to have to wrap this up, ladies and gentlemen. It's been really fun.
It
Torri,
has been. This has been an interesting note to end on as well.
It is. At least we ended on something that we can agree on.
Yeah.
That nothing's perfect.
Nothing is perfect. Also, can we agree that the system is not working?
We can agree that... okay. I will agree that parts of the system are flawed and don't work the way they should. But to say that the whole system should be thrown out because of those flaws... I do not agree.
I didn't say that. I didn't say the whole system should be thrown out, but I'm glad that we are in agreement that there are things that need to be fixed.
Yeah. Yeah, let's end on that. I'll save everything I'll save the rest of this for part 2.
Rest of the...
Donovan, if you're listening all the way to the end, I really hope he listens for a whole hour. I don't know if he does. I looked at my watch time. I looked at the watch time. People watch 4 minutes and then click off.
Yeah, that's usually what happens. It's okay.
It's good though.
We hope.
We hope, but Donovan, I'll pitch this to you if you're not listening to this. We're gonna have you on. We're gonna have Torri on. We're gonna have me on. I might moderate. I might get one of my roommates to moderate since they're gonna be more of a...
if then I want Mo on my side.
Okay, we'll get Mo too.
If we're doing a whole thing, if there's gonna be a moderator,
we're gonna a panel. Yeah,
let's do a panel. You'll need another mic for that though.
We have mics.
You got mics. All right. Let's wrap this up. Joe, this was awesome. Thank
you
so much
Thank you
for having me on your show.
Thank you for coming on.
Yeah.
It's been a great time.
It has been. Before I head out, I do want to plug my Instagram again. It is sapphire_transam. You can also follow me on Twitter if you like dumb things. It's at _wit_or_whatever.
That's a long one.
Yeah, it's good. I like it.
Yeah. I mean, mine's... I'll put mine in the description. Fresh_cup_of Joe.
Always good. Always good to
plug
tag yourself there. Plug the self there. Yeah. Follow me on Instagram. Check for that music. If you like...
Go plug yourself.
Yeah, go plug yourself. If you like indie nonsense and guitar noises, hopefully you'll also enjoy the Sapphire Transam. Also, we're very queer, so hope you like queers, because we are that. Quite.
All right.
All right.
All right.
All right.
All right, so that's it. See you guys next week, I guess. Have a good day.